In this video, I'm going to reiterate some of the privacy discussions that need to happen, especially in this section of the series where you're potentially posting student images with their names. This is something that is very, very important to make sure you are covered with in your school, because there can be a lot of implications for publicly posting student work, especially if their face or their name is attached to it. So the first thing I always think about is, where do I want students to post this? And typically I post it on my channel, because I can set the content settings for my students. I can help protect from some of those inappropriate comments or things that we, just our hearts start beating a little bit faster when we think about happening when it comes to content on the web. So I'm going to show you how to manage each of those settings in each of the distribution platforms we've looked at so far. So I'm going to start with screencasts. Now, screencast again is produced by TechSmith, and there's a lot of controls here. So I'm going to show you my student video, and we can change this in the settings button. So when you mouse over, the 4 options come up on the left. Click on the pen and paper, and it brings up information. And in this, again, I only use first names, but I also make sure that the show comments is unchecked. I do not allow comments on student work unless I am producing it myself and asking students to appear in it, and I have their consent from parents or something like that. I also don't allow downloads to viewers, so make sure these 2 boxes are unchecked when it comes to uploading student work to screencast.com. YouTube is a little bit similar. So I'm in my video manager on YouTube, and there's 2 icons that we're looking at. The first one is the unlisted icon, and the second is the public icon. If a video is public, that means anyone can go to it. They can search it on Google or Yahoo, and they can get to your video. If it's unlisted, the only way to find this video is if you share the link with someone. So you have to physically copy and paste the link into an email or into a tweet or something like that, and then send it. So this is what I do with student videos on YouTube. So if a group puts it together and they want to share it on YouTube, that's all well and good, but I control that data. I make it unlisted, and then I send a link to other science teachers, or I'll put it on my class website with a password on it for people to take a look at. And we can change this by going to the edit option when you're in your video manager, and you want to go on the right side of the video, and under the privacy and publish settings, make sure unlisted is clicked. So they have to physically get the link from me. It will not show up in Google. It will not show up in a search on YouTube. They have to make sure that you give them the link. And if you really want to lock it down, which is fine in some cases, you make it private, and only people that I specifically choose can take a look at that video. So that's YouTube. Vimeo is, again, very similar to YouTube. So there, again, it's a very large community of people. The videos by default, unless you change the setting, are public. So to change a Vimeo setting, when you go to your video manager, under videos on the top, you go to My Videos, click on the gear icon at the top, and it changes to this page where we can change our basic settings and things like this. Or you need to go to the privacy tab and then click on the button that makes the most sense for what you are doing. So you can even password protect individual videos on Vimeo. Now, for Vimeo, I typically don't upload student work because student videos are very short, and this community isn't necessarily the right one for a student production piece, unless you're in something like a theatrical English class or history class, and there's a little bit more art or creation that goes into it. For just quick student videos, I typically rely on Screencast, especially if it's a Jing folder or file, and YouTube. But Vimeo, again, if there's student work being put up, especially with faces and names attached to it, I would really suggest only people you choose. And again, you make sure you hit save changes, and then it will give you a link that you can send to other people. So those are just some things to consider, especially when students are involved. We need to make sure we're protecting our kids at a reasonable level. So that's going to be up to you, but now you know how to go in and make those changes if you need to do so.